Some love stories arrive with spectacle. They burst into existence through dramatic confessions, flashing cameras, and grand public moments meant to convince the world that something extraordinary has begun. But the most enduring love stories rarely announce themselves that way. They arrive quietly. They take root slowly. They grow through patience, familiarity, and a shared understanding that deepens over time. The story of Jennifer Hudson and Common belongs firmly to that quieter, more powerful category of love. This was never a relationship defined by instant attraction or carefully staged romance. There were no rushed declarations, no performative gestures meant to satisfy public curiosity. Instead, their connection emerged organically, built on friendship, mutual respect, emotional growth, and perhaps most importantly, perfect timing. Their story is a reminder that the most meaningful relationships often appear when we stop searching for them, when we are finally ready to receive them. When Jennifer Hudson and Common stepped onto the stage together during John Legend's Get Lifted tour stop in Chicago, the moment immediately captured attention. At first glance, it appeared to be nothing more than a celebratory collaboration. Three artists deeply connected to Chicago, sharing a stage in a city that shaped all of them. But beneath the applause, the lights, and the music, something far more intimate was unfolding. The way Jennifer and Common moved together told a story that had nothing to do with choreography. Their body language was relaxed, unguarded, natural. There was no stiffness, no hesitation, no sense of performance for the audience. This was not simply to artists sharing a stage. This was to people sharing comfort. Jennifer's smile that night was especially striking. It was not rehearsed, was not performative, was soft, open, and luminous. The kind of smile that comes from feeling emotionally safe and genuinely seen. Common stood close behind her, wrapping his arms around her with a familiarity that could not be staged. There was no tension, no exaggerated display meant to attract attention. What the audience witnessed was something rare. A couple completely at ease with one another, sharing joy without self-consciousness. For many fans, that moment marked the point when their connection stopped feeling speculative and started feeling undeniably real. What makes this story especially compelling is that it did not begin with romance. Jennifer Hudson and Common had known each other for nearly a decade, before their relationship ever shifted into something more. Their bond was not built overnight, nor did it originate from a single project or fleeting attraction. It developed slowly, naturally, through years of shared experiences, conversations, and mutual respect. In an industry where relationships are often rushed, labeled too quickly, and put on display before they have time to breathe, their approach was refreshingly different. They worked together professionally. They supported each other creatively. They built trust long before they ever explored romance. When they collaborated on the film Breathe in 2022, public speculation naturally followed. Observers wondered whether their on-screen chemistry reflected something happening behind the scenes. Yet neither Jennifer nor Common rushed to define or confirm anything, and that restraint was intentional. Their connection already held depth and meaning without the pressure of labels. It existed in a space of trust, something far rarer and more valuable than instant romance. Backstage images from the Chicago event added another layer to the narrative. Jennifer Hudson appeared radiant. She wore white pants paired with an elegant off-shoulder top woven with soft tones of pink, gold, and orange. The fabric shimmered subtly under the lights. But it was not the outfit that captured attention. It was her presence. There was a visible glow around her, the unmistakable energy of emotional security and contentment. Her hair, styled in a polished, half-up, half-down look, framed her face effortlessly. On her hand, her EGOT ring caught the light, a symbol of historic achievement. Years of discipline, perseverance, and resilience. That ring represented more than artistic success. It represented survival, strength, and self-mastery. Common stood beside her in patchwork jeans and a patterned brown shirt, relaxed and unguarded. The way Jennifer leaned into him and the way he stood steady behind her communicated intimacy. Without exaggeration, these were not two people performing affection. They were simply being themselves, even in a room full of cameras. Industry peers and expectations, their authenticity remained intact. Social media reacted instantly. Fans flooded comment sections with praise, not just for the couple, but for the natural ease they shared. One comment in particular captured the collective sentiment perfectly. A single image holding multiple Oscar, Grammy, and Emmy winners, true creative royalty, standing together in harmony. Yet what resonated most was not the accolades. It was the emotional honesty that there was gratitude in their presence. There was grounding. There was a sense of shared roots. John Legend's reflections on the night added even more meaning. In his message, he expressed gratitude not only for the performance, but for the people who made the evening special. He referred to Jennifer and Common not merely as collaborators, but as family. That word carried weight. This was not industry networking language. This was the language of real connection. Every love story has a setting. But some places do more than host a relationship. They shape it. For Jennifer Hudson and Common, Chicago is not just a city. It is a shared origin, a formative force, and a quiet presence woven into their connection. Long before stages, awards, and global recognition, Chicago shaped who they became, not just as artists, but as people. This shared foundation created an understanding between them that did not need explanation. They did not come from the same place by coincidence. They were shaped by the same rhythms, values, and realities, and that matters more than it appears on the surface. Chicago is a city known for resilience. It teaches toughness, but also loyalty, ambition, but also humility. Growing up there means learning how to balance dreams with discipline, how to hold on to identity even as success pulls you forward. For Jennifer Hudson, Chicago represents survival and self-belief. Her journey was never effortless. Every achievement came through persistence, through refusal to be defined by rejection or loss. For Common, Chicago represents truth. It shaped his voice, his worldview, and his understanding of purpose. His artistry has always carried the weight of introspection and social awareness, qualities deeply rooted in where he comes from. When two people share that kind of background, something powerful happens. They do not have to explain their values. They recognize them in each other. One of the most overlooked elements in successful relationships is shared cultural understanding. Not surface-level similarities, but a deeper sense of familiarity, a shared emotional language. Jennifer and Common did not need to translate themselves to one another. They understood each other's silences. They recognized each other's work ethic. They respected each other's boundaries. This kind of connection is rarely instant. It grows through time, conversation, and consistent behavior. And because their relationship began as friendship, it was never built on illusion. There was no fantasy version of one another to live up to. They knew each other as real people with routines, flaws, and evolving dreams. That foundation made everything that followed stronger. What truly sets their story apart is timing. According to Common, their relationship did not begin until both of them were truly ready for it. This was not about convenience or settling into something comfortable. It was about alignment. He has spoken openly about how certain blessings arrive only when we are prepared to receive them. Not earlier, not on demand, but exactly when growth has already taken place. For him, this realization came after years of experience, relationships that taught lessons, moments that required reflection, and personal work that could not be rushed. Jennifer's journey followed a similar path. Her life has been marked by immense success, but also by profound loss and resilience. Emotional maturity was not something she arrived at. Accidentally, it was earned. When their paths finally converged romantically, it was not because something was missing in their lives, it was because both had already done the work. Common has described discovering a type of partnership he had not known before, one that went beyond attraction. This was not about excitement alone. It was about understanding. It's about shared purpose, about mutual elevation. He has spoken about learning what true partnership actually means through this relationship. Not control, not dependency, not performance, but presence. A partnership where both individuals remain whole, grounded and supported without losing themselves. This perspective reframes romance entirely. Love is not something to chase. It is something that arrives when self-work has already been done. Unlike many high-profile relationships, Jennifer and Common did not introduce their love through a dramatic announcement or viral reveal. There was no sudden press tour, no carefully timed exclusive, no public spectacle. When they confirmed their romance in January 2024, felt less like a revelation and more like an acknowledgement. They were not inviting the world to validate their relationship. They were simply naming what already existed. And even after confirmation, they chose restraint. They did not overshare. They did not monetize private moments. They did not turn affection into content. Their happiness did not require constant proof. That choice reflected maturity, an understanding that real love does not need an audience to survive. There is a quiet confidence in people who are secure in what they have. Jennifer Hudson did not appear louder or more performative after their relationship became public. If anything, she appeared calmer, more centered. Her joy was not displayed for approval. It was lived. Common mirrored that energy. His reflections on their relationship carried gratitude, not ego, thoughtfulness, not possession. This was not a man trying to claim something. This was a man recognizing a blessing in a world where relationships are often consumed as entertainment. There is something quietly radical about choosing privacy. For celebrities, romance is rarely just personal. It becomes content, speculation, branding, and narrative all at once. Every appearance is analyzed. Every gesture is dissected. Every silence is questioned. Yet Jennifer Hudson and Common chose a different path. They did not turn their relationship into a spectacle. They allowed it to exist without constant explanation. And in doing so, they revealed a deeper truth about love itself. Many public relationships begin with intensity. The excitement is amplified by visibility. Attention becomes fuel. But what is rarely discussed is how quickly that kind of love can collapse under its own weight. When affection becomes performative, stops being intimate. Jennifer and Common never chased that version of romance. Their connection unfolded away from constant cameras. It was shaped by private conversations, shared values, and a rhythm that did not need to impress anyone else. This is why their bond feels different. It was not built to be seen. It was built to be lived. After confirming their relationship, they did not suddenly change how much of themselves they shared with the public. There were no daily updates, no forced appearances, no curated narratives meant to control perception. Instead, there was consistency. They continued to show up as individuals. First, that restraint communicated security. People who are unsure often feel the need to explain. People who are grounded allow their truth to stand quietly. Jennifer and Common understood that distinction. Their silence was not secrecy. It was protection. At the heart of their relationship is emotional safety, something far more valuable than chemistry. Emotional safety allows people to be fully themselves without fear of judgment or performance. Jennifer's demeanor around Common reflects this. Her expressions are relaxed. Her laughter is unforced. There is no sense of vigilance or emotional armor. Common, in turn, speaks with clarity and respect. His words are measured, reflective. and rooted in appreciation rather than possession. This dynamic suggests a relationship built on trust, not the fragile kind, but the kind that allows space. One of the most telling aspects of Common's reflections is how he speaks about his past relationships. There is no bitterness, no rewriting of history, no attempt to diminish what came before. He acknowledges their importance without allowing them to define his present. This emotional maturity is rare. It signals growth, the understanding that every relationship teaches something, even when it ends. But when he speaks about Jennifer Hudson, there is a noticeable shift, not in intensity, but in depth. Common does not describe Jennifer primarily in terms of her fame or accolades. He does not lead with her beauty, though it is undeniable instead. He emphasizes her discipline, her work ethic, her spirit, her ability to inspire him on a daily basis. This kind of admiration carries weight because it comes from familiarity, not fantasy. He sees her as a person first, not a symbol. That distinction changes everything. When someone is valued for who they are rather than what they represent, the relationship moves beyond surface-level attraction. It becomes partnership. There is no urgency in how they speak about their relationship, no sense of rushing toward milestones to satisfy expectations. Their pace reflects confidence. They are not trying to prove anything. They are building something quietly, intentionally, and with respect for their individual lives. This is love that does not consume identity. It complements it. What Jennifer Hudson and Common demonstrate is not perfection. It is presence. Their story challenges the idea that love must be loud to be real sometimes. The strongest relationships are the ones that grow without announcement, supported by trust, patience, and mutual growth. And in an era defined by exposure, choosing depth over display may be the most powerful statement of all. There is a version of love that many people chase. It is fast, it's exciting, it promises completion. But the love that lasts is rarely the one we chase. It is the one that arrives when we have already done the work. For Jennifer Hudson and Common, their relationship did not begin because either of them needed saving, validation, or fulfillment. It began because both had already learned how to stand firmly on their own. That distinction changes everything. By the time their connection deepened, both Jennifer and Common had lived full, complex lives. They had experienced success and disappointment, public praise and private struggle, moments of certainty and seasons of reflection. This is not a love story built on innocence. It is a love story built on awareness. Jennifer Hudson's journey is marked by resilience. Her career demanded discipline. Her personal life required strength few could imagine. Through it all, she developed emotional intelligence, the ability to navigate life without losing softness. Common's evolution followed a parallel path. His work has always reflected introspection, but introspection alone does not guarantee readiness. Readiness comes from applying what reflection teaches. He has spoken about learning when to listen instead of lead, when to support instead of fix, and when to allow space instead of control. These are not lessons learned quickly. They are earned. Desire can bring people together. Readiness keeps them together. Common has described how some relationships arrive before we have the capacity to hold them. Not because love is absent, but because alignment has not yet occurred. In his words, certain blessings wait. They do not arrive on demand. They arrive when growth has already taken place. By the time Jennifer entered his life in this way, he had already learned what partnership requires, not compromise of self, but expansion. What defines their relationship is not dependency. It is wholeness. Neither Jennifer nor Common entered this partnership seeking completion. They arrived complete, choosing to walk alongside one another rather than lean on each other for identity. This is why their love feels steady rather than intense. It does not fluctuate based on attention or validation. It rests on choice. Every day. One of the clearest signs of maturity in their relationship is how they respect each other's purpose. Jennifer continues to lead with excellence in her career. Common continues to evolve creatively and spiritually. Neither diminishes the other's ambition. There is no competition. There is encouragement. This balance allows both to grow without fear that success will create distance. Instead, growth becomes shared. There is no rush in how they speak about the future. No pressure to perform milestones. No public countdown toward what comes next. This lack of urgency signals confidence. They are not racing against time. They are aligned with it. Earned love carries a different energy. It is calmer, more intentional, more sustainable. Jennifer and Common's relationship reflects the understanding that love is not something that fixes life. It is something that enhances it, because both arrived having already done the internal work. Their partnership stands on stable ground, not illusion, not fantasy, but reality. There is a difference between admiration and infatuation. Infatuation is loud. It seeks attention, demands reassurance. Admiration, on the other hand, is quiet. It observes, it respects, allows space. The way Common speaks about Jennifer Hudson reveals which one defines their relationship, how he sees her when Common talks about Jennifer. His focus does not linger on surface-level traits. He does not reduce her to beauty, status, or public achievement, even though all of those are undeniable. Instead, he speaks about her discipline, her work ethic, her consistency, her spirit. He describes the way she commits fully to her craft, how she shows up prepared, grounded, and focused. This kind of praise does not come from distance. It comes from proximity. It comes from truly knowing someone, seeing greatness without needing to claim it. One of the most powerful aspects of their relationship is that Common does not attempt to define Jennifer through himself. He does not frame her success as something he contributes to. He honors her as her own force. This is a subtle but profound distinction. In relationships where insecurity exists, admiration often turns into ownership. Achievements become shared for validation rather than celebrated for what they are. That is not what happens here. Common's respect for Jennifer exists independently of his role in her life. That kind of respect creates safety. Partnership without competition. In many high-profile relationships, success can create imbalance. Egos compete. Attention shifts. Support becomes conditional. Jennifer and Common operate differently. There is no sense of rivalry, no need to outshine, no attempt to control narrative. Each person's success strengthens the partnership rather than threatening it. This dynamic reflects emotional maturity, the ability to stand beside someone powerful without feeling diminished. Why his words carry weight when admiration is rooted in familiarity. It carries credibility. Common's reflections are not abstract, and they are specific. They reference character, discipline, influence, qualities visible only to those who are close. This is why his praise resonates. It is not performative. It is earned, mutual elevation, not dependency. Their relationship is defined by mutual elevation. They challenge each other to grow. They support without suffocating. They inspire without controlling. This is not a dynamic of rescue. It is a dynamic of reinforcement. Both individuals remain autonomous while moving forward together.